And welcome to the 14th Annual Exceptional Women of Color Conference hosted by SAC Cultural Hub Media Company and Foundation. Tonight we have the pleasure of honoring 16 of the most exceptional women here in 2022. So please enjoy the festivities.
Hey everyone, Neketia Henry here, and I am the MC for tonight's amazing festivities. We are here for the 14th Annual Exceptional Women of Color Expo. Tonight it's all about honoring amazing women of color who are doing amazing things within their community, within their families, within politics, and a little bit of everything in between. So as you can see, it is a gorgeous setup. We are rocking our fall colors, but just super excited to be here post-COVID all together again, honoring some amazing women who are doing some amazing things.
Excited to be here today.
Because I like to be around powerful black women, women of color, women that know their worth, women that are moving up and doing things that not for themselves and their families, but establishing legacies. So I'm excited to be around women like that, so some of that can rub off on me.
Important because I want to honor the black women here in the community. They've done a lot of work, and in normal places they're not recognized the way they should be. And so this is a place where they are honored and respected and just given their flowers.
It's important for me to be here because I love anytime we can dispel the myth of the angry black woman and that women can't get along, that we're always catty. That's not the truth.
Hi, I'm Kathy Jones from Cat's Creativity. I sell African American collectibles. I sell Annie Lee, Thomas Blackshire, among other figurines. This is a family business. This is my daughter Janae. She's always with me here selling and giving back to our community. I'm glad to be a part of EWOC. This is probably like my 5th EWOC that I've attended, and I'm glad to be here to support.
I'm thrilled and excited to be an honoree this evening. As an exceptional woman of color, this is an amazing event that's meant to honor individuals identified in the community. And of course, we know there are many more that could be here, but it's amazing to get this honor from the community.
So it's such an amazing experience to be here another year at the EWOC 2022. It's one of the most still amazing events, inspirational. We get to network, get to just have an amazing experience, and I'm just so glad to be here yet another year. Good job, please. SAC team.
So the reason why it's important for me to be here is because Angela Carter, who is my executive assistant, is one of the exceptional women of color who's being awarded today. And of course, the California Black Chamber of Commerce, we all are proud of her, and we congratulate her, and we thank Plachette Robertson and the SAC Cultural Hub for acknowledging that Angela does great work in our community.
Good evening, I'm Laura Nguai with SMUD, the Sacramento Municipal Utility District. I'm extremely honored to be receiving an award tonight for an exceptional woman of color. Really blessed to be here with a lot of amazing women.
I feel extremely honored to be an honoree at the EWOC conference.
and I cannot express how humbled I am to be recognized this year amongst the many women, the exceptional women of color. And I just thank God every day that I'm able to do what I do, and I hope that I can continue. Thank you, EWOC.
Very excited and honored to be here today to celebrate the diversity within our community, especially the individuals that are here today from Pride Industries. I think women of color need to be highlighted more. I think people of all colors should be highlighted more. I'm excited and looking forward to this evening's events. Thank you.
I am so thankful to Sacramento Cultural Hub to be an honoree tonight. This marks my 25th year in education, my hard work, and I'm just so thankful to be acknowledged for doing what I love.
Hello, my name is Linda Stokes, and it's important for me to be here at the Exceptional Women of Color because I'm supporting this organization, and also my sorority sister Tara Lampkins is one of the honorees, and also my sorority sister Aisha Lowe is one of the honorees, so I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Doretha Johnson, and I am so happy to be here this evening in support of one of my friends who is also a sorority sister and a member of Links in my chapter. That individual is Tara Lampkins. She is indeed an exceptional woman, not just her character, but all of the things that she has done for the community. I'm very proud of her and to know her. Thank you.
I'm Lieutenant Sabrina Briggs. I'm here with some of the amazing management from Sacramento Police Department, honoring some amazing women. And this is actually one of the main mans right now because he is our chief as of this moment. So this is Neil Cybulski. He is our lieutenant from our Internal Affairs Division, and I'll let him say a couple words.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here to support Sabrina and all the other amazing honorees for this event, and it's always a pleasure for us to come out to the community and support this group as well as others.
And we'd be amiss if I don't introduce Lieutenant Jen Lagan. She's one of my mentors, and I've looked up to her and actually followed her path throughout my career, so I will let her say a couple words as well.
We appreciate the honor to be here to represent not only Sabrina, but all the other amazing women that are in this room. And it just shows how great things are going here in Sacramento and the Sacramento region.
Jeff, would you like to say anything, a couple words?
Certainly. Good evening. I'm Jeff Shirashi. I'm a lieutenant with the police department. I'm honored to be here to recognize one of our rising stars and our leaders of the organization, and couldn't be more proud of her and happy that she's finally and always gets the recognition she deserves. So thank you for having us.
And I guess that's it. Thank you, sir.
It feels amazing to be honored, and I'm so grateful to be honored. To see my work and accomplishments, be shown for others. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's always amazing and a great accomplishment. So I am super excited and appreciate Sac Cultural Hub and Media Foundation appreciating my work and acknowledging me in front of my peers. So thank you.
Doing this evening? Are we all having a good time so far? And we are here to celebrate some amazing, exceptional women of color. So let me try that one more time. Y'all ready to have a good time tonight? Yes, we're not going to be stiff tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, you guys, every year, the Exceptional Women of Color program continues to uplift and empower women. And that's all thanks to our very own visionary, Plachette Robertson, the CEO and founder of the SacCulturalHub.com media company and chief editor of the Hub magazine, and her entire team. Sac Cultural Hub is the #1, not number 2, not number 5, y'all, #1 Black-owned, women-owned leading source for urban news, business, education, and entertainment in Northern California. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the visionary, the founder, the Miss Everything. You guys put your hands together for the one and only Miss Plachette Robertson.
Thank you so much. I always love that introduction by Neketia Henry. Please give it up for our Mistress of Ceremonies, who's been with us every step of the way for every exceptional woman of color Awards event. So first of all, I just want to say hallelujah for the saints in the house tonight. You all are so beautiful. I'm so glad that you decided to join us this evening. And I want to first give honor to and praise and glory to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for your presence this evening. You chose to come here. Welcome, welcome everyone, as we, SAC Hub, and the EWOC team are indeed blessed to be able to meet here once again 2 years post-COVID. Hallelujah. We have come together this evening to celebrate our exceptional, wonderful, amazing, like Neketia said, the 2022 EWOC honorees. The Exceptional Woman of Color was specifically created to honor non-traditional women who are on the move in their careers, making impact in the community, breaking barriers, and creating her story, not history, but her story along the way. This 2022 EWOC program booklet, I hope everyone has a booklet. If you don't, please visit the SAC Cultural Hub Media booth to get your booklet. And the fall issue of the Hub magazine shares great information along with some wonderful, amazing profiles on all of the 16 honorees. So please be sure to make sure to reference these publications and learn more details about each amazing woman we are honoring today, and an exceptional woman of color. So now I want to invite my pastor, Pastor Takoi Porter from Genesis Baptist Church, to the stage to provide our inspirational message and prayer to bless our meal. Pastor Porter.
I want to thank Plachette and the SAC Cultural Hub team for always thinking about their pastor and giving me the privilege to honor the 2022 cohort of exceptional women of color. Let's clap our hands again for them, all the honorees. Now, I'm biased because I've had the joy and privilege of being married to a 2019 honoree. Carnette Porter is sitting over there. Wave your hand, baby. There you go. So I know how special it is to be recognized in this capacity. Now, last night, my wife and I saw the movie Woman King. Anybody else seen it? Viola Davis was awesome. I think an Oscar-worthy performance, right? You know, and I was really struck at the story about the Ajoli. I know I'm not saying it right. Agoji, that's it. Agoji, the all-female warrior unit that protected the West African kingdom of Dahomey. Now, they dedicated their lives to protecting and ultimately saving their community from rival tribes, foreign invaders, and they all were led by a fierce, determined, and exceptional black woman, Naniska, the Woman King. Now, naturally, when I was sitting there at this event, because I'm a preacher, I'm like, this is good preaching stuff right here. I can use this tomorrow night. And so I actually thought about this event, now how perfect the timing was for this movie to come out as we recognize and celebrate our own Agoji. Right? Fierce, determined, strong, exceptional women of color. Come on, let's give it up for the Agoji. Now, ironically, while this movie was set historically in the 1800s, the story and the role of our women of color has not really changed, even at this time. For our honorees are a perfect example of women who have dedicated their lives to protect, enhance, and even save their community. You are not only queens, but are kings in your own right. And today we honor you, women kings. Let's pray. Father God, we come tonight to thank you once again for the opportunity to celebrate and honor these extraordinary women in our city and region who dare to step up to make a difference. Lord, I thank you for providing each of them the strength to rise up and take on the challenges of the day. Lord, please allow them to know that what makes them exceptional is not just their leadership, intellect, or beauty, but in their service and compassion for others that make them so. So tonight we say thank you for providing them as gifts to our city and the organizations in which they serve. We ask for you to continue to bless and sustain them and protect them and their loved ones as they continue to shine their lights among us. Allow what is done here tonight to uplift and revitalize them in the way that they need it the most. We thank you for Plachette Robinson and her team at Sac Culture Hub, who thought it well to create this platform to recognize these exceptional, extraordinary women. And Lord, please continue to bless the work of their hands. And finally, Lord, bless the food, allow it to be nourishment for our bodies. In Christ's name we pray. Let the church say, amen. Amen. God bless you.
Okay, so at this time we are going to have a special poem presentation. So you guys please welcome to the stage Miss Patrice Hill.
Exceptional women of color are better than your average. Not to be confused with anything plastic. She's more like Queen Supreme Being. Superior in her intelligence because she wants more than what she sees. She's much deeper than what society portrays her to be. She speaks peace and is always preparing to conquer the next mountain peak. She shatters glass ceilings. She's one in a million. She never internalized what you told her she couldn't be. Access to her not easy. She's booked and busy. Stingy with her time, she's taking trips and booking flights. Her existence divine. She's getting better with time. She's shining in her prime. She's on time to the meetings and timely with her email replies. Y'all know y'all be answering the emails on time. Especially if there's some money in it. She divides her deliverables and gets the work and reports done on time. In her, you can truly confide. You're going to win every time with an exceptional woman of color on your side. Her existence is divine. When you on her good side, she's rainbows and sunshine. She's honey sweet and love you long time. However, don't trigger that quiet storm inside. You don't want to see that side. She keeps that power tucked on the inside, but can unleash it if you get out of the line. You don't want to see her like that. She doesn't like to act like that, but you might get that if you think her kindness is something she can't take back. She don't play like that. We'll show her teeth if she needs, but she likes to keep it pretty, so pretty please don't play, because in an instant, she got time today. Determination and pain running all through her veins. Deviating from the norm, she don't got no shame in her struggle, her story, or her pain. She doesn't blame anyone for her failures. She learns from her mistakes, then maintains her space. She knows life is not a race. She's on a marathon and steady keeping the pace. She got strong faith. She got strong faith. She might be stuck in her ways. She struggles but doesn't break. Her ancestors paved the way. Her life has been hard, but she always gives thanks. She works harder than necessary. She is a modern day revolutionary. Cross her and the consequences are scary. Having her on your team, legendary. If you lose access to her, it's a wrap. Drama and backstabbing, she don't do that. Gossip and banter, she has no time for that. She has her priorities intact. Lifting other women up, she's great at that. She's a mother, daughter, sister, auntie, loving on her family. She's exceptional at that. She wants her community and seeds to ultimately succeed. She gives her all because she understands the obligation wholeheartedly. She would never sell her soul. She's brilliant and so beautiful. Her soul and spirit magical. She's a combination of blues, jazz, and soul. She's what makes this world so beautiful. Exceptional women of color, keep being you. Even if the world doesn't accept you, you are the answer to your ancestors' prayers. Your melanin, the cure to save us. Your strength, the power to maintain us. Your excellence and courage, courageous. May our daughters take the titles and keep on paving. Exceptional women of color, continue to stand in your greatness. Thank you, y'all.
Listen, let me tell you something. I heard that whole poem, it was amazing. But when you said booked and busy, I'm like, yes, booked and busy. We need to be booked and busy. Thank you so much. That was very powerful. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have a special report on the state of education in our communities. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Ramona Bishop.
That's cold. You made me follow Patrice. Really? Hi, everyone. I see so many beautiful faces tonight. I'm going to make it quick, and I'm just going to share just some nuts and bolts about where we are. And what I realize is that many of us don't have children in the public schools right now, so I'm hoping to inspire everyone in this room by something I say. Let me know how I do. I was asked to talk about a woman that inspires me. That's my mother. She is a fine artist. I grew up with my home being filled with those pictures that you see. I also grew up watching her. When I was in high school, she decided to go back and do her college degree. She got her bachelor's at UC Berkeley in her 50s, and then she went back and got her Master of Fine Arts at UC Berkeley. And so I was in high school, so I watched what it was really like to study. How you really get a study group together. My mother is my inspiration. I am a teacher, a principal, a director. I've been associate superintendent. I've been superintendent. And now I'm the president and CEO and visionary of my own charter school network. And we are unapologetically focused on African American and Latinx students who have been failed by our traditional public schools. So tonight, I just want you, even if you don't have children in the public school system, to just think about the legacy you will leave for our children, and particularly our daughters. Tonight, we're acknowledging exceptional women of color. And this is put on by an exceptional woman of color. Will you give it up for Plachette and her vision one more time? I think you could do better than that, because we would not be here if it were not for her effort. But at the end of the day, as we think about who we are, it's really about what stories people will tell when we are no longer here. And so I'm asking that we all think about that tonight collectively. I was asked to talk about critical race theory. That would take me all day. But I will say you can't be an exceptional educator without understanding critical race theory, feminism, all the isms that our world is plagued with, yes? And this is a quote from Bettina Love, who is exceptional. Educators know who I'm talking about. If you haven't read or read, please do. Our high school students today, I don't have a lot of time, but I'm just gonna talk a little bit about someone who might be a junior right now in our high schools. And if you think about it, this is the information age, and there is nothing that happens in the world that is not all over social media, and our kids are always connected. Does that make sense? So they haven't missed any of these events. And in fact, as they were in elementary school, all those things were happening. You see what I'm talking about. They were seeing these images. They were hearing these conversations in our living rooms. In middle school, they were faced with those things happening. You see what I'm talking about. In fact, if we're thinking about our daughters, they were faced with a young lady who was just simply asleep in her own apartment. And in high school, you heard that I started my own charter school network. We actually started our school in 2019-20. What a year to start a school. And those students who are now in high school actually were in middle school. And so you can see that they have lived through these things, the deaths of tens of thousands of Californians and the infections of millions. Many of them black and brown people, disproportionately. So as we think about the young people that are in our schools, we have to think about this, that this is how they've grown up, with these traumas and these tragedies happening right in front of their faces and all over social media. It's no mistake that there is black Twitter. In fact, black people disproportionately look at social media and Twitter. 21% of the users on Twitter are black people. TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I'm not young enough. But the kids are always on TikTok. And in fact, influenced by it so much that when they came back from COVID, there were these things called TikTok challenges. Administrators, you know what I'm talking about. Teachers, you know what I'm talking about. The Slap Your Teacher Challenge. I told my kids, I will lose my credential today. I will lose it tomorrow, you bet. Not respond to the TikTok challenge. But more than the friends that they associated with, we now are competing with social media as to what students should and should not do. Does that make sense? And so as we think about educating our society's young people, we have to continue to think about all of those competing forces. From COVID, we learned a number of things, that there was a digital divide. We've closed that now. We had no choice but to make sure that all students were connected to computers. That's a good thing. That's something we should and could celebrate. We found out that Zoom is a necessity. And many of us are still on Zoom, yes? If it weren't for Zoom, I'm not sure where we would be. I got so tired of Zoom, I'm like, I don't want to Zoom anymore. By the time it was nighttime, because you're on Zoom back to back to back. But Zoom is useful now, yes? And we don't have to travel as much anymore to meetings because they can be held virtually. I think in addition, and one thing that I was asked to talk about is how education can and must change. Our children understand what it means to be entrepreneurial. And so they understand that they don't really need this thing called high school anymore. Because they can be rich just by getting a lot of followers on TikTok, followers on Twitter, and becoming influencers and selling their services to these social media networks. They understand that by coding and doing the things, all things related to computers, they can become their own bosses. So education is in competition with that as well. We in our own living rooms are in competition with that as well. We have to tell our kids to put the phone down in order to have a conversation. And that is something that we must continue to do, yes, so that our young people will be socialized. And I think, I was asked to talk about charter versus traditional public. You know what? There are powerful educators all over this nation. I'm not going to get into the debate around traditional versus charter versus private. I'm going to say that if you have a young person in school or a nephew or a niece or a friend or a godchild, just make sure they have somebody that understands what they have been through, that understands what I showed you back on the other slide, that understands how to have those conversations about racism and all the isms that they're going to face. Does that make sense? I was asked to talk a little bit about one of the highlights of my career is during Obama's presidency, I was asked to speak at the White House about some of the work that I was doing as a superintendent at that time. And, you know, one of the things that I highlighted was the importance of parents. Parents, if there are parents, grandparents in the room, your power has been untapped in educational systems. We argue and complain about the rights that our workers have. They're doing what they're supposed to do and advocating for their rights. What about us as parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and so on? So I'm going to ask that if you are a parent, that you flex and that you show up, and that as students get older, especially in high school, you lean in and you show up at the schoolhouse regularly to see what they're up to, that you walk into those classrooms regularly, especially the older they get. Right? We want to make sure that what they are getting is absolutely what we expect. People say you don't pay for public education. Yes, you do. Look at your paycheck. You are taxed. You are in charge of the public education system. I'm going to close with just a thought. It is really important that we use social media and train our young people to use social media for good, since they're on it so much. As I thought through the impact of COVID on all of us, I thought about something that I was doing just as a so-called influencer, mostly on Facebook is where I am. And I was just trying to think of things that would inspire the people that typically follow me, and you can see the list of people that do. So I'm going to leave you with my top 5, and I hope that one of them, 2 of them, will inspire any of you in the room, because it was my goal to make sure that I was touching each one of you. So if you hear one that particularly resonates with you, this is a Patrice thing. Can you just snap for me, please? If something inspires you, I just need you to snap for saying, did inspire you, as I close. Refined self-talk. Believe the impossible is possible. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. Just being a woman of color, you know what I'm talking about. Being a mother, a father, a grandmother, you know what I'm talking about. Being a police officer in this time, you know what I'm talking about. Being an activist, you know what I'm talking about. Check in regularly on Black women. Smiling eyes may hide tears. Hashtag not that strong. It's just something I was thinking about in my living room during COVID. Exist unapologetically. You don't have to explain your hair, your piercings, your size, just exist. And this one was important. Be in complete control of the narrative associated with your name. Let no one else control that narrative. And lastly, I will make it as long as I have my hot chocolate on my fireplace. I don't know who I'm talking to. I want to thank each one of you for your kind attention tonight. I do hope that I have inspired you to think forward to the generation that's following you, and also to think about the legacy that you'll leave for the young people who may or may not know who you are now, but may be following you on Facebook, Twitter, not TikTok, but whatever else you're on. Thank you so very, very much.
So I have the pleasure of bringing up someone who is extremely important and valuable to SacCulturalHub.com. Twyla Laster is the owner of Travel with Twyla and Twyla Makes It Happen Consulting Services. Ms. Laster has 20 years of experience in providing consulting services to clients in need of strategic marketing, program development, public relations, event management, health education, and smoking cessation facilitation. Say that 3 times fast. For the past 14 years, Ms. Laster has served as the Strategic Marketing and Project Director for Sac Cultural Hub Media Company, directly engaged in increasing overall company revenue by revamping the marketing model, developing programs, solidifying corporate and community partnerships. Additionally, Ms. Laster is the project director of Saving Our Legacy, African Americans for Smoke-Free Safe Places, the Soul Project, and serves on several public health advisory committees throughout Northern California. And if that wasn't enough, y'all, she is just the princess of the night. Y'all give it up for the one, the only Miss Twyla Laster.
Good evening again. All right, well, I have the pleasure to say that we are ready to enjoy the rest of the evening with recognizing our honorees. Are you all ready to be recognized? We're ready to recognize you. Sac Cultural Hub is proud to be able to recognize 16 honorees with the Exceptional Women of Color Excellence Awards. They join the ranks with over 250 women that have been celebrated over the past 13 years. So honorees, prepare to receive your awards. And I say this every year, and I mean it. I'm gonna get a hook one year, I tell you what. Keep your acceptance speeches brief, please. Please. Because, of course, just like Neketia said, you know, we're trying to go home and go to bed, some of us, you know. So, Gino, don't make Gino play you off like the Golden Globes, okay? All right, then. Miss Neketia, let's go ahead and begin announcing the honorees.
In the area of management and the professions, Miss Laura Angway, the Chief Zero Carbon Officer for the Sacramento Municipal Utility District, also known as SMUD.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you. I'm Laura Angway, Chief Zero Carbon Officer with SMUD, and I'm extremely honored to be here this evening to receive this award alongside so many exceptional women of color and women kings. I began my career at SMUD almost 19 years ago, and I've seen a lot of changes over the years. Early on in my career, I remember being one of the only women supervisors in the construction side of our business. And even today, when I attend industry events across the United States with other utilities, all too often I'm the only, not only the only woman of operational leadership within the room, but also oftentimes the only person of color. You see, many utilities don't look like we do at SMUD. So I'm extremely proud of the work that we've done at SMUD in terms of making sure that we, and that we will continue to do, to making sure that we represent and look like the community that we serve. I do want to thank tonight the Sacramento Culture Hub, not only for this event tonight, but also for empowering and inspiring our communities. I want to thank our SMUD team and our board members as well, especially those that are here celebrating tonight with me. Thank you for all of the work that you do to make sure that SMUD is not only one of the best places to work within the Sacramento region, but also one of the best utilities across the United States. Finally, I'd like to thank my family who are here with me tonight also, to my husband, who when our kids were really young became the primary caregiver of our children to ensure that I could go back to school, obtain my degree, and advance my career. So thank you. And I'd also like to thank my kids who are here tonight, my three boys, for your patience and understanding when I was busy, booked and busy. Thank you. And especially, I want to thank my oldest son, Peter, who at a very young age started to walk our two other children back and forth to soccer practices because he knew we weren't going to make it home on time to make soccer practice. So thank you for stepping up within our family as well. So thank you, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Let's give it up one more time for Laura Angway. Our next honoree is being honored in the area of entrepreneurship and innovation, Ms. Sheila Moody Bennett, the CEO and founder of CPMS Services, LLC.
Hello, everyone. This is really different. I'm usually at the EWOC conference as a volunteer, and when I found out that I was going to be an honoree, I sent a text message to Plachette and I said, does that mean I don't have to volunteer this year? I don't even know what it feels like to be on this side, but I'm very honored. And I have a quote that I want to read from Oprah. And this really says a lot to me, and I think a lot of you women here will be able to relate to it. Oprah said, "I was once afraid of people saying, 'Who does she think she is?' Now I have the courage to stand and say, 'This is who I am.'" So for me, not only am I honored, it's been a long road, and I can now own who I am and what I do, and I don't have to hide behind anything. But that is all due to my support, my family's here, my loved ones are here, thank you all, and my mentor, I don't want to say any names because I don't want to leave anyone out, but I will say I am extremely honored, and I thank God every day for blessing me to be who I am and to move the way I move. Even though I move many times in silence, it doesn't stop me from knowing who I am and what I've accomplished. But thank you so much, and thank you Plachette and Sac Cultural Hub. Love you.
Another round of applause for Sheila Moody Bennett. Our next honoree is being honored in the area of politics and government relations, Miss Sabrina Briggs, Lieutenant for the Sacramento Police Department.
This on? There it is. Well, I've seen the looks over here. She said, let's keep it brief. And so I'm going to keep this very brief. So first off, I just want to say thank you, and I'm truly honored. Unfortunately, my parents aren't here today, but I do have some extended Sac PD family. I also have some extended cousin family over here. So I would like to say thank you to them for showing up. I had an opportunity to read all of the bios for all the honorees today in the Hub magazine. And I am truly honored to be a part of them. I just want to say thank you, ladies, because it's women like you and women like a number of you in here who paved the way for me. And I just want to say thank you. So thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Lieutenant Sabrina Briggs. Our next honoree is in the area of social welfare and community activism, Miss Vanessa Kagoy. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. She is the coordinator of compliance and special projects for leadership in public schools.
Good evening. I heard that comment. It's actually peach. That's what they were telling me, is peach. Okay. Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I have to give honor to God because I would not be here without His grace. Thank you to Plachette and the EWOC nominating committee for this honor. I'm extremely humbled. Did not expect this award. Financial literacy in the Black community is a huge soapbox issue for me, and if you get me talking, I'll start talking all about it. So I just want to say thank you for this award. Thank you for this honor. Feeling humbled and blessed. Thank you to my two sorority sisters, my past and present chapter president of the Sacramento Alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. They are the reason why I have the platform to bring financial literacy to our youth. And shameless plug, I should say, April 8th, 2023 will be the 5th Financial Youth Summit. So if you have any high schoolers, please look out for information on that. Thank you.
One more time for Vanessa Kagoy. Our next honoree is in the area of health, sports, and wellness, Miss Lorraine Clader, cosmetologist of Best Kept Secret Barbering and Braiding.
Hi. I do not like speaking in front of people. I am Lorraine, and I've been doing hair for 26 years. I have 5 beautiful children. I'm grateful for being here. I wasn't expecting to be honored. Thank you so much, sister. This is beautiful. I'm humbled. I'm really grateful for everything. My daughter's a sailor, so thank her for her service. My son in college, thank you too, son. I've never watched him. I appreciate all of you people for just being here. So much color, so much just to be grateful for. This is like the dopest. Thank you.
One more round of applause for Lorraine Clayton. Our next honoree is in the area of politics and government relations, Miss Melissa Geer, Chief Deputy Legislative Director for the California Department of Insurance.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm a little old school, so I got my paper, but I promise I'll be quick. So first, I just want to say that I'm grateful to be recognized as an exceptional woman of color this evening. And I'm humbled to be among all of the incredible women who are also being honored tonight. I'm honored that the Sac Cultural Club Hub Media Foundation has recognized my work, because much of my work to help Californians live their best lives and be treated fairly and to be their best selves happens behind the scenes. I spend most of my days shepherding bills through the legislative process. And in order to be successful, I must be bold, courageous, and exceptional. And as a result, I have persevered, risen above the noise, and won many hard-fought battles. I've worked in many different state departments and industries, and oftentimes I am one of only. I'd say I spent the last 9 years working with the Department of Insurance. And so imagine the different battles that we won trying to protect consumers, especially as we have experienced exceptional wildfires. Many of the people in the room that I'm working with, legislatures, lobbyists, they lobby, and the difference of what they do and what I do is we call ourselves advocators, right? So we advocate and educate because we don't have the money to choose politicians, senators, assembly members who want to help behind the scenes, who may then vote our way. So a lot of what we do is being out there in the forefront. And so as a woman of color in an industry that currently is not very diverse, it's tough at times. So this really means a lot to me. I will continue to advocate for all Californians at various stages of life, which has been and continues to be important to me. I will continue to strive to ensure that underrepresented people and communities are represented even when they're not in the room, with the hope that the work that I've done and the work that will come will eventually allow people to go farther than just being in the room. I didn't do this alone, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank God for guiding and directing my path all along the way. I'd have to thank my husband, my family, my NELP family, Class 1 and beyond, colleagues, friends, and mentors, some of whom are here to celebrate with me this evening. I am grateful for their love, support, sacrifices, hard work, dedication, and advice over the years, because this race has been a marathon and not a sprint, and I'm not done yet.
Another round of applause for Melissa Geer. And our next honoree is in the area of social welfare and community activism, Miss Patricia Hatcher-Jones, entrepreneur and CEO of Living Your Best Life Enterprise, LLC.
Wow. I was thinking about what I could say because I didn't know if I was supposed to say anything. I didn't know how this night was going to roll. But first of all, I have to thank God because I am the 5th child of 6 children and the only girl in the family. So to be recognized as an exceptional woman of color is indeed something that fooled that devil. But I am grateful to Michelle Neal who submitted my name, totally a surprise. But I also want to thank my husband for being here and supporting me tonight, and I have a lot of sister friends in the house. A lot of sister friends that are here supporting other people, but still connected. Although I didn't have any biological sisters, I embrace sisters and women, and that's what my business is all about, trying to help the young women, particularly in women, live their best lives. And God has allowed me to develop a program and some services that will provide their tools and allow them to do that. And so I am just very grateful tonight, and I want to share a little something that happened to me. It could be quite embarrassing, but it shows you what sisterhood is all about. And I had a malfunction with my shoes. You know, I had some shoes that I just knew were the right fit for the dress. And I stepped and I experienced something strange, and I looked down and, you know, they were old shoes, but, you know, they were in the closet, so I thought they were good. And they weren't working. And so I sent a text to a friend that was on the way and said, hey, do you have any shoes that, you know, extra shoes maybe? And had a backup friend that said, you know, you can borrow my shoes if you need to use my shoes. And look, perfect match. Sisterhood. I'm all for sisterhood. If I ever meet you as a friend, we're always a friend until you decide that we're not a friend. Amen? Thank you.
One more round of applause for Patricia Hatcher-Jones. All right, and our next honoree is in the area of arts and culture. Please make some noise for Miss Patrice Hill, Executive Director for the Sacramento Area Youth Speaks, also known as SEDS.
I'm so honored to receive this award. I would love to thank God and the ancestors, my children, my son Azakari, my daughter Aaliyah, the young people of Sacramento who allow us to work with them so deeply, my colleagues at UC Davis, and all the folks in this room that I've worked with or learned from. I'm so exceptionally thankful to be in this room with you. The best way for me to speak is in poetry, so I'm just gonna leave you with this. Queendom runs through your veins, my sister. You are made in the image of God. They can't rob you of that. Matter of fact, the black woman is God. I don't have time to, but I could really explain that. Just like black don't crack, they can't cook up the antidote to replicate that. Failed attempts at stealing our black. Want to borrow the best things about us without our permission. Putting price tags on what was never meant to be sold, but you can't put no price tag on my soul. We are descendants of women that were bought and sold, so we have no choice but to walk this world unapologetic, unafraid, and bold. We survived past pain you couldn't imagine, so don't ask me how I'm still standing. Look at me, I'm still standing. Tried to break me, I'm still standing. America forsakes me, I'm still standing. But ancestors in God embrace me, and you will never stop me from standing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Patrice Hill. All right, our next honoree is in the Department of Education and Research, Miss Tara Lampkin, Assistant Principal for Capital City Schools, Sacramento City Unified School District.
Aw, shucks. I am going to work on being brief, but I am just so honored and so humble. It is said that the fact that you worry about being a good teacher means you are already one. Still, this recognition tonight greatly alleviates my concern. In 2022, this year marks my 25th year in education. While it is cliche, it is true that if you truly do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. And education has been my true love. I am proud to be a part of the profession where the best among us teach from the heart, not by the book, Tonight, my heart is full, as it has been a difficult journey to reach this point. I want to thank those who stood by me, especially during health challenges, especially my mother and son, poured into me professionally and personally on my journey. I want to say thank you to each and every one who has given your time, talent, and treasure when I have asked or frankly begged on behalf of my kids or students. I recognize that with God, all things are possible. I know difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations, and I want to thank Plachette, Sac Cultural Hub Media Foundation for honoring me tonight. I vow to continue to proceed through life's journey with faith and fortitude. Congratulations to my fellow 2022 honorees. Thank you again, and thank you to my family, my friends, many mentors, along with the members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Eta Gamma Omega Chapter, Links Solano County Chapter, and also the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa, as well as my employer, Sac City Unified School District. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for Tara Lampkins. Our next honoree is in the area of management and the professions, Dr. Adrienne Lawson, Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Compliance, Pride Industry.
Good evening, my brothers and my sisters. How are you tonight? You're looking gorgeous. Men, you look handsome. It is an honor to share this space with you tonight to celebrate all 8 exceptional women of color. And congratulations, Plachette. She is the president, CEO, and founder of Sac Cultural Hub, and this is her 14th year of this signature event. Let us give her a round of applause. Plachette is always providing a welcoming space. Don't you feel welcomed? She always creates a safe space. Don't you feel safe to be yourself? She always creates an experience. Don't you feel this is an experience? She always creates community and belonging. Don't you feel like you belong? You have a sense of community? That's the work I do. And that's how we are connected. So thank you so much for this honor tonight. Now, I would like to acknowledge the person who nominated me. Thank you from the depths of my heart. I don't know who the person is, but I hope they will reveal themselves to me so I can personally say thank you, but I would like to publicly say thank you for this nomination and this award. Secondly, I would like to thank all my current and past mentors. You know you can't make it on your own. Someone helped you somewhere, and it's good to acknowledge them publicly. Patricia Holmes, Ann Thomas, Dr. Robin Carter, Dr. Masupiye, Dr. Jesse Gaston, Dr. Lisa William White Stewart. Thank you, my sisters from Sacramento State University, for believing in me. I would also like to acknowledge my colleagues and my friends from Pride Industries. They are here to support and share in the celebration today. Can you please stand so I can brag about you? Stand up, you guys. And I would like the president and the CEO of Pride Industries to wave. It's the president and CEO of the company. Came for me, okay? That's a blessing. A black woman, they care that much? Thank you. You have to be, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you all being here tonight. Last, but certainly not least, I have to thank God for His grace, for His love, for His mercy. to allow me to do this work, to make a difference in the world today. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
One more round of applause for Dr. Adrienne Lawson. Our next honoree is also in the area of management and the professions, Miss Angela Lowe, Executive Assistant to President of the California Black Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Flechette. Thank you, Jay King, for nominating. I really appreciate you and the chance you took on me to bring me aboard the California Black Chamber. It has been an extraordinary path, and we will continue to do more. And I'd like to thank all the women that I'm with tonight, the 16, and it's an honor. I am so humbled, and thank you.
One more time for Miss Angela Lowe. Our next honoree is in the area of education and research, Miss Kancy McCarn, Chief Human Resources Officer for the Sacramento City Unified School District.
Hello, good evening, and wow. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be recognized. There are so many amazing women of color we know who are seen, many more unseen. So just having the opportunity to be here in recognition of those who have come before us, those who are not with us tonight, and those who will follow us. I'm really appreciative. I feel excited, honored, blessed, humbled by this recognition. And so thank you. Thank you to a community who has been extremely supportive, a community that has provided relationships, valuable relationships, mentorships, support, love, and kindness. And I thank you to my family, to God, of course, my husband, my precious children, precious boys, the best boys. And also, I want to say that while we hopefully all have women of color in our lives, not enough of us do, but I want to recognize my mom, who is the best, smartest, wisest, kindest, most gentlest woman that I know, and thank her for instilling in me that love, responsibility, passion for caring for others, for kindness, for lifelong learning, for family and community. So as I work in a school district in Sacramento City Unified School District, and will continue to always give to others, I just, in all of that, accept this. So thank you so very much.
Another round of applause for Miss Kancy McCarn. Our next honoree is in the area of social welfare and community activism, Miss Robin Rose Hamer, Vice President of Capital Impact.
Good evening. I opted not for paper tonight, so phone. Thank you to the Sacramento Cultural Hub for this award, and to the Nehemiah Emerging Leaders Program for the nomination, and my family. Of course you did. Congratulations to all the other phenomenal awardees and past recipients who are here today. I'm here because my mother showed me what exceptional womanhood really is. I am grateful to have my network here to support me, my colleagues from Elk Grove Unified School District who have become my friends, and I am indebted to the Sacramento LGBT Community Center and my friend Reggie Caldwell for a healing work environment and an opportunity to innovate programming and exercise my gifts. To my executive coach, Alami Bashir, for helping me to reorient to my why, and to Capital Impact, my new work home, for stretching me to my potential. Thank you to my partner for her unwavering support, and to Plachette and team for this honor. Thank you.
One more time for Robin Rose Hamer. Our next honoree is in the area of arts and culture, Miss Stacy Shelnut Hendrick, Director of Education for the Crocker Art Museum.
Thank you so much. I want to thank, I too am a outgrowth of the Nehemiah Emerging Leadership Program, and I want to thank them for supporting my leadership and my nomination. I want to thank the Sacramento Cultural Hub for doing such an amazing job in keeping art and culture in the forefront. I don't think Plachette remembers when we met, but we actually met at a talk that Isabel Wilkinson was doing at the Mondavi Center, and there were not many of us in the room. But I think Plachette believes, like I believe, that with art and culture you show up, and you keep showing up, because if you don't show up, representation is not going to be revolutionary. So I want to encourage you all to keep showing up at art and cultural events and enjoy yourselves as much as you can. I have a lot of people to thank because I stand on the shoulders of giants. I want to thank my mom, Naomi Shelnut Hendrick, who is no longer with us, but she is amazing. I want to thank my auntie, Lillian Braxton, my cousin, Brenda Braxton. I really, really want to just sort of hold those names up because I love those women and they've been amazing to me. In addition, my husband, who of, it's like 22 years, yeah, drives me crazy, but I love him and he's always supported me and I really appreciate that. I also want to thank my son, who's 18, also driving me crazy. But they are beautiful men who I live with and could not live without. So thank you all so much. I also should shout out Liz Baidu, who has been a tremendous friend to me. So thank you, Liz. But thank you, enjoy yourselves, and I appreciate this honor.
One more time for Stacy Shelnut Hendrick. Our next honoree is in the area of politics and government relations, Ms. Paula Velasquez, Associate Director of the Legislative Advocacy, County Welfare Directors Association.
I heard that. Go neighbor. It's for my new BFF who just helped me pick Alfredo sauce out of my hair. Thank you. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you here this evening. And like many of the women in this room, I wear many hats. I also serve as a school board member in the San Juan Unified School Board of Education. But it's a special privilege to be here wearing my CWDA hat and to be able to speak to that work that I get to do every single day. I get the absolute privilege of waking up every single day and advocating and promoting a social services system that encourages self-sufficiency of families and our communities and protects the most vulnerable children and adults from neglect and abuse. And the fact that I get to do this, wake up every day and do this work is an absolute privilege, and to be acknowledged for it is even more special, but really it's work that I'd be doing no matter what, and particularly having grown up being raised by a single mom who only finished the 8th grade, and seeing her strength every single day and benefiting from the systems that serve our most vulnerable neighbors, but knowing how every single day people are not served and we fail, and knowing directly and personally how we can make it better. It's a privilege, because the one thing that I've learned in my short career is that power is never given. It's never offered to someone. It's demanded every single day, and you have to wake up every single day and fight for it. So it's a privilege to do that work. Thank you. I do have a long list of folks that I would thank, but first and foremost, and I'm going to spend my attention and time on thanking my fellow honorees. It's a real privilege to be among such a distinguished group of strong women who wake up every single day to fight to make their community better. And I say that also as an expecting mom. And I tell you, this girl's been kicking all day. She knows the power in this room. So thank you for being an example for her. You're so inspiring, and I really appreciate the honor, and I'm glad to stand with you. Thank you.
One more time for Paula Velasquez. And last but certainly not least, in the area of education and research, Aisha Lowe, Vice Chancellor.
Good evening, family. It is a pleasure to be here with you tonight. I want to, of course, thank the SAC Cultural Hub for this honor. I want to thank my NELP family for the nomination. Lots of NELPers up here tonight. Must also acknowledge my sorors of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Good to see everyone. You know, as I thought about what I would say tonight, being nominated as an exceptional woman of color, I don't know what is particularly exceptional about me, but I do know I serve an exceptional God. And when I think about how I went from being a low-income black girl in San Francisco to sitting in the C-suite in the largest system of higher education in the nation, I serve an exceptional God. So I give him all the honor and glory because the Lord knows that without him, nothing that I've accomplished would be possible. I also want to give honor to my elders on whose shoulders I sit, Irma Crenshaw, Edmund and Willa Mae Lowe, Dorothy and Raymond Howard, who are no longer with us, but who I know have inspired my pathway. And also want to thank my family that is here. My auntie Shirley, this is my ride or die aunt. She goes to everything. Every football game of the cousins, everything. And last but not least, I must thank my mother, Theodosia Ann Lowe, who has literally been my biggest cheerleader, my strongest advocate, always believed in me, always spoken life over me. I would have not accomplished anything I've accomplished without your love and your support, Momsy. I'm also her twin, so if you see an older version of me running around, that's my mama. But thank you so much. Also want to honor all of the fellow honorees. Thank you so much, Flechette. And just God bless you all. Let's continue this good work. We are, I wholeheartedly believe, in the era of the woman. And I believe we are in a special time and place in history for women leaders, and in particular for women leaders of color. So for all my honorees, all the women out here who are doing the work in the community, who are breaking down barriers and changing systems and pouring into families, you keep doing that good work because God is on our side and we will prevail. Thank you.
I thought I was leaving the stage, but I'm back. This is like one of the most favorite times when we give out money to young women of color who have actually submitted an essay on what makes an exceptional woman of color. You have your program book, we have their photos listed. One of them does happen to be here tonight. Another one, two of them can't be here because they're actually away in college now. But we do have some people here who are going to accept the award on their behalf. But I would encourage you to read some of the excerpts from their essay because their essays were very, very impressive. So without further ado, I am going to introduce let me get it straight. Twyla had me straight here. Okay, so there are 3 scholarship awards that we're giving out, and they are for $500 each. All right. So the very first young lady that we would like to announce, and we have someone here on her behalf. I do believe either her parents are here or Tresla Gilbreth is here. Her name is Zion Kagna Lottie. She is a 20-year-old graduate student at the University of Southern California. And I do believe someone's coming to the stage now to accept the award. All right.
Zion could not be here today. First of all, hello everyone. My name is Trusla Gilbreth, and you all are looking mighty nice. I am accepting this award on behalf of an exceptional young woman. Zion, she received her Bachelor's of Science in Biology, graduated at Regis College in Boston. She minored in Spanish and Health Professions and is continuing her studies at the University of Southern California, studying to earn her doctorate in physical therapy. And she just received her white coat this week.
All right, so we're gonna go to the next recipient. I do believe that she is here. Her name is Honesty Hunter. She is a Stockton native, is 21 years old, and is a junior at Sacramento State University.
Hello everyone. I hope you guys are I hope you guys are all doing good today. I am truly grateful for receiving the 2022 Exceptional Woman of Color Scholarship. Thank you very much. And this is actually my first ever scholarship, so I'm truly I never had much luck with scholarships. Yet again, I've always been busy majority of my life. So once again, I'm just really grateful of this one. And however today, yes, I am truly grateful for this outcome. And this accomplishment made me realize how strong I am, especially since I'm still trying to find a balance between school and work and staying on my own now, as I am no longer under my parents' roof. Thank you. Yes, but all of this, for the past year, being on my own and basically doing everything on my own, it's made me realize how strong of a woman of color that I am. Yes. And once again, I just want to thank you guys for this opportunity. And I am blessed to be here today. And I do want to give special thanks to Trusla for nominating me today. Also, my father for flying all the way to Vegas just to be here with me today.
All right, so our next recipient is Lariah Jackson. She is 17 and she graduated from St. Francis High School in Sacramento, and she now attends the illustrious Howard University in Washington, D.C. And we do have her appearance here on her behalf.
Good evening. I am the mother of Lariah Jackson, and I am a proud, proud, proud mother. She is a native of Sacramento, has been in predominantly PWIs all of her life. She is loving immersing herself in her culture at Howard University. And we are all so proud of her. A little backstory on Lariah: she has been singing all over Northern and Southern California all of her life. And I've always taught her that it takes a village to succeed. And I thank you all tonight for giving her this scholarship, because as a single mom and a kid that's just trying to make it, this means the world to us. So thank you.
All right, that brings us to a close of our scholarship winners. And wow, we've had the 16 honorees, and I just loved each and every one of your remarks, your speeches. You guys all look so beautiful. And thank you again for those who came up for remarks for the scholarship recipients. Congratulations to you all. Okay, so now we are going to we're going to thank our sponsors, because EWOC would not be possible without our sponsors. And we're going to do that by bringing up Twyla Lester. She's been itching to get off the stage for a minute.
Oh, goodness. I would be remiss if I did not recognize what Flechette and I are considering the most exceptional women in the room, and that is our mothers. Teresa Laster, could you please stand up? Let the people see you. This is my beautiful mother. You know that saying, I get it from my mama, that's my mama. And then my second mama, Flechette's mama, Miss Cherry Douglas. So now I can recognize the corporate sponsors. So our silver corporate sponsor is the Sacramento Municipal Utilities District, also known as SMUD. We love y'all. We love y'all. Our bronze corporate sponsor, Department of General Services, DGS. And then also UC Davis Health, Office of Health and Equity and Diversity. So please remember, like I say, most of the time, there's several opportunities for you all to participate in. Dear and dear to my heart and Flechette's is the ability to be able to give scholarships out to our youth and young adults. So please make sure that you consider donating to our Youth and Young Adult Scholarship Fund and also supporting this very important woman-owned business with your advertising dollars. We have, of course, the Exceptional Women of Color, we have the Black Physicians Forum, and we also have the media portion, which is the website and the magazines. So please make sure you consider advertising your businesses with us, advertising your organizations with us, and we look forward to seeing you as a media partner or a sponsor in the future.
Right, we still got a full room here. I am so glad that everybody didn't try to duck out of here after eating. Because you know that's me, but anyways. All right, so this is another one of my favorite times during the EWOC events is when we do our keynote presentation, keynote conversation. I do have the pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker for this evening that will be in a conversation with our MC, Neketia Henry. KiKi Ayers is our keynote speaker for this evening. She is the owner of Ayers, founder and CEO of Hollywood public relations firm, Ayers Publicity. Before I go on with her bio, please be sure you read the amazing article in the Hub Magazine fall issue. You should have that. If you don't, you can pick that up from the SAC Cultural Hub vendor booth. There was an article written and she was interviewed by Michael P. Coleman. She has an amazing, impressive background. Since launching her company in 2016, KiKi has been featured in Forbes magazine, Black Enterprise, BET, Essence, and appeared on the Tamron Hall show, to name a few. Ayers has been honored by the United States Senate, the U.S. National Committee for United Nations Women, the City of Los Angeles, the National Black Public Relations Society, and named one of Roots 100's most influential African Americans. She is also a TEDx speaker and first-generation graduate of Howard University. Prior to PR, Ayers worked over a decade in media as a journalist and entertainment reporter. She has interviewed the biggest names in Hollywood, such as Samuel Jackson, Ice Cube, Ryan Gosling, Ben Affleck, James Corden, Will Ferrell, Kevin Hartland, Issa Rae. She has also worked for major TV stations and publications that include MTV, BET, NBC, Universal, BBC, Revolt, XL Magazine, and Boss Up. Her extensive groundwork in media has helped her build a strong foundation of genuine relations and contacts with press in entertainment, film, tech, business, and more. This millennial entrepreneur most recently shared her incredible testimony on the Tamron Show and in Forbes magazine of how she went from homeless to an A-list celebrity PR agent in just 2 years. I have to say her age because when I picked her up from the airport, I thought she was 16. She's only 30 33, okay? And she is a single mom, so I just love her to death. Me and KiKi, who runs our youth summit area of EWOC every year, we had the pleasure of having dinner with her last night. And she's just really a breath of fresh air. To learn so much more about her on a personal side was wonderful. So we are so very honored to host your 2022 keynote, Miss KiKi Ayers.
Well, welcome. We are very excited to have you here this evening with us. So, as you know, we are here for the Exceptional Women of Color Expo. So, what exactly does that mean to you, being an exceptional woman of color?
I think being an exceptional woman and being a woman of color kind of go hand in hand. We are the trendsetters. We are the glue of the family. We are the foundation of the family. We are the foundation of this country. And we get a zillion things thrown at us time and time again. And we just create magic with it. Like, we do the impossible and we are tired. We get up every day and continue to do it again. So I think that in itself is the definition of being an exceptional woman. Like, we do that. Like, we are that.
We are that. So everybody look at the person sitting next to you and say,
Absolutely.
we are that.
And we look fabulous while doing it. Look at how fabulous y'all look in this room.
So, Plachette mentioned during your intro that you were homeless at what point. So we want to get to know you, KiKi.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your childhood, what obstacles you faced, and how did you actually get through that?
Yeah, so my childhood was really good, and then it got really real. I don't know if anybody in here is in the military or family of anybody in the military, but living on a military base, it's kind of like heaven on earth. Like, when I was growing up, like, Big Macs were $1. You got the commissary. You could stay home at a earlier age than everyone else can. In the state or the country, you can be left at home earlier because you're protected on a military base. So I thought that was life. And then when my dad retired from the military and my parents divorced, my mom became a single parent with 3 kids, and then life got real quick. She supported us on like a $22,000 a year salary while battling a lot of health issues. So watching her go through a lot of health issues and not be able to even afford to really go to the hospital, not knowing what was going on. She still got up every day and went to work. A lot of times, especially during the holidays, would pick up another job just to make sure we had a Christmas, so she did all types of amazing things, and watching that growing up, it just kind of built the foundation of who I am. Like, I knew at an early age, like, I need to get my stuff together. If I was ever to have a kid, I need to be financially set so they're not going through things that we went through. We went through a lot of things, and because we're in the military, ended up in a space by ourselves. We didn't have any family around to help, like none. And we kind of just kept things a secret. We didn't want people to know what was going on. We didn't want to be split up with child services. We didn't know. We just didn't want to anything like that. All we had was each other. So that kind of built the foundation of who I was. And we were homeless a lot of times. We usually always found another place to go, but there was a time where we didn't. So even when I left where I was living growing up to go to Howard University, I left from a hotel. And I had to say bye to my little brother, who was like my son, and it was like the most heartbreaking thing. So it was bittersweet, because it was like, wow, I'm a first generation college student. I didn't really know how I was gonna pay for it. I was just so excited I got accepted. And my mom pushed me to go to college, even though she didn't. But yeah, I left there from a hotel. So while everyone was moving into Howard with like their families and their bedrooms, I didn't have a bedroom, I went there with one suitcase. There was people even there that like, I don't really like it here, I'm gonna go back home. I'm like, that's not a choice for me. I don't even have a home to go back to. So I had to make it work, and that's what I did. Yeah.
So you grew up, your mother was an exceptional woman.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
laid that blueprint for you. And can you guys imagine that, going away? You left from a hotel to go to Howard University. Wow, I think that right there just needs a round of applause all for itself. That's amazing. What an amazing testament to who your mother was and how you continued on with her values. So let's talk a little bit about your marketing firm.
Yes.
So describe your days, the first few months after deciding to create your own marketing firm. How did this idea come about? What made you decide, you know what? I need to have my marketing firm. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. How did you come to that conclusion?
So long story short, when I moved to LA, I had like a lot of TV production background and like working for all these major TV stations, but I moved to LA to work for Diddy. So I was working in a corporate situation, making a lot of money. I was like 22. I thought I was super grown.
Even though you look 22 now.
Well, I thought, you know, I was living a life. I was like, I'm in LA, I'm making good money. But then, I can't say too much, there's a contractual agreements, but there was basically something, right, there was
You signed a few NDAs.
Yes, but there was basically something that happened when the company restructured that they wanted us to sign off on, and it was so many crazy things they wanted us to sign off on, and me knowing other things that I wanted to do in life and accomplish, and not being able to have ownership of that and just other things, I just said, you know what, I can't sign this. And they're like, if you can't sign this, you can't continue to work here. And I said, that's fine, I'll put in my 2 weeks notice and get all the pay that you owe me. So that's it. And at the time, that's when the Straight Outta Compton movie came out. Everybody's like, oh, you're acting like Ice Cube, you're not signing a contract. I said, well, look at Ice Cube now. So,
Right, you have to know your worth and know your value.
Absolutely. The downfall of that is I no longer had that income. So I unfortunately ended up in another homeless situation. And again, I didn't have any family out here at the time. So when I say homeless, I mean homeless. I'm not talking about I was sleeping on an auntie's couch. I mean like, if I could come up with $33 a night, I would stay in a hostel with 16 other people I didn't know, co-ed, bunk beds, anywhere. I literally spent every day trying to figure out where I was gonna sleep at night. And what I was doing on this side, it was like a lot of red carpet interviews. That's when I was like interviewing all the celebrities, and I loved it. It didn't really pay anything. So I couldn't afford to really live in LA, but again, I didn't really have anywhere to go back to. I didn't come from a home to go back to it. So I thought it was gonna be a situation where it would just be like a couple weeks, and ended up being 16 months. So one night
you were homeless for 16 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even realize how long it was until I got out of the homeless situation, when you're filling out like your little leasing application, the last place you lived. I was like, wow, it was 16 months. I had no idea it was gonna be that long. So through that, one night I was supposed to stay with, I would say friend, just like an associate, and that fell through. I was working in an event, because I still worked as much as possible. So I was working in an event, and she didn't text me back. I was like, oh, what's the address? And she didn't text me back, and the event got over at like 11:30 p.m. So I'm like, wow, I have nowhere to go right now. So I was in Hollywood, and I walked in the Lowe's hotel bathroom, because funny story, when I first moved to LA to work for Diddy, they put me in that same hotel for the first couple weeks until I could find somewhere to stay, because they needed me to come out there ASAP. So I remembered like that bathroom stall wasn't like typical bathroom stalls. They went all the way down to the ground. So I just walked in there. It was a little after midnight at this point, walked into the bathroom stall. I still had my laptop from college, and I opened it, and it connected to the lobby Wi-Fi. And I was just like, how did I get in a situation? Like, I was living like in a nice apartment in downtown LA, and now I'm like, I have nowhere to stay. So I opened up my laptop, and I was like, you know, what can I do to get the money I deserve, the credit I deserve, and still stay within this industry? And the first thing that popped up when I opened my email was a press release, because as a journalist, you're always working with publicists. They're always trying to get you to interview their clients. And I was like, let me try PR, and that's when I came up with Ayers Publicity.
Wow. 16 months homeless. Well, first of all, let's back up. making a lot of money, working for someone else, wanted you to sign off on some things that you didn't have a peace about. And how many times have we not had peace about something but still went forward with it anyway, and you chose to go a different road. And even though that road was tough, you stood in there for 16 months, and then your opportunity and that wasn't a coincidence. Same hotel
crazy.
that you were staying in before. Wow, look at God. That's amazing. So amazing. So with all of the struggles of being homeless, and even when you had your idea of getting the PR firm, those things don't just happen overnight. Did you ever at some point question yourself, like, what am I doing? I don't have to be homeless. Did you ever second guess yourself? And what made you stay committed to your original choice?
Well, this was like the first time in my career where I was applying for jobs and I was getting nothing back. And I was like, what is this? Because even when I interned, people used to make fun of me and say I minored in internships. Like, I always had an internship because I was going to make sure I had a job. But this was the first time that I wasn't getting any responses back. So I didn't really have a choice. But even in my head, I'm like, this is probably something that will last 2 weeks and then I gotta figure out something else. But I ended up getting this random email for Rush Card to write some summer articles, and they would pay me $1,200, which was like the most money I've seen in a long time at that time. To post it on my Instagram and write all these summer articles. So I did that. So when I knew I was getting that, I had friends that were had big social media followings, also owned businesses and actors just from being a journalist. I knew them. And I was like, I noticed you don't have a publicist. Can I test this out? Because I want to start a PR company. They're like, you want to start a PR company? I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll do it for free until I get, my LLC. Because my money from the Rush Card I put towards getting my LLC. So I was like, when that comes, if you love what I'm doing, then we could talk about you paying me. And they're like, sure, there's no problem. So I would go to the public library. Shout out to anyone who works there, because that literally saved my life, the public library, because again, I was homeless. So I would go there and use their Wi-Fi, and I would just try to pitch. I was self-taught. I'm like, I have all this stuff in my email. Let me try it. Let me try to reach out to people. So my first day doing it, I booked something for KCLA, which is News Station LA, and then I booked something for Ebony Magazine. I was like, this is so easy. And then the next day, it was crickets, and I was like, okay. And that's literally how PR is. So from there, it's just like trial and error. If something doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board. But that's really what it was. I'm like, I don't really have anything to go back to. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Sure. So what's amazing to me is that a lot of times when we venture out for something, we get a little money, we get paid, we don't think to reinvest back in our business or our endeavors. We're buying clothes and shoes and all of those things, but here you are, you took the $1,200 that you made off of that Rush Card and reinvested, going to the library and doing those things. So how important is it to remain humble but yet still know your worth? Because sometimes those two contradict, right? You know your worth, so it's really hard to be humble, but then because of where you may be at financially or where you're at in your life, it forces you to be humble. How conflicting was that for you, if at all?
I think there's a difference between letting people play with you and being humble. Like, you can be humble and not let people play with you. That doesn't mean that you aren't humble. It just means when it comes to business, it's business. If you're really my friend or whatever, there's no reason why we can't, and we have this agreement, there's no reason why we can't put that in writing, When it comes to prices, what I learned is people will find money to get things that they want. If they want to go on this birthday trip, if they want Gucci, if they want Louis, they're not calling Delta can we negotiate? They're not calling Gucci, can we negotiate? And there's a huge difference between saying, hey, can I give you half now and half in 2 weeks versus, can I just, pay this small percentage? Like, no, you can't. So there's a difference. I'm very humble, but when it comes to business, I don't play. And people end up respecting that, but they definitely tried me first. But they'll come to you, especially when your work is quality. They'll come to you. And if they don't come to you, they go somewhere else, they'll come back. They always come back, so.
Y'all hear that? They always come back. Know your worth and do not settle for anything less. So how difficult was it for you during this journey, being a young Black woman endeavoring into your own PR firm, you know, a lot of times, especially dealing with celebrities and people that have a higher quote unquote clout in society? How hard is that, getting the respect, the same respect that they would for, you know, maybe a male in that figure, or a person who's older and has had a little more experience?
It was definitely hard at first. I feel like when you're first starting a business and trying to survive, you can't say no as much to your clientele because you kind of need them to survive. But as you grow, oh my God, I say no to everybody. Like, I love it. I say no to everybody now. And even my current clients, like I always look for people's attitudes too, because you have to be realistic about who you are. So even if I have a client that's an influencer and they have 1 million followers, like I break it down to them. I'm like, in the influencer world, you rank low. There's people with 30 million followers. You know what I'm saying? So if they get egotistical, I have to let them know, like, if you're trying to get on a major show like The Breakfast Club, or you're trying to get on a talk show, they're not gonna jump up for you the next day to interview you because they don't know you. Maybe 1 million people do, but there's 7 billion people in this world, you know? So I'm sure that everyone has someone here that they've heard of that someone else hasn't heard of, but they might have 1 million plus followers. So it's just like, you have to be realistic with people. So I love working with people that are realistic. I love working with people that put in the work. If I'm going to do press around something, I need something to press around, I need something to promote. So we have to both work, you know? So that's what I look for. And I look for people that are humble. And when it comes to celebrities, I feel like the most successful celebrities that people want to work with, they're like the most down-to-earth, humble people. And people want to work with them. That's why they keep getting booked, you know? So you have to have good energy. Nobody wants to work with bad energy. They don't care who you are.
Right. You guys hear that? No bad energy out there. Good energy only. Good energy only. So I want to shift this next question, kind of just dealing with the climates that we're in as a society, as a nation. You know, there are deep divisions in our country right now, and many areas that need our attention, and we're seeing a rise in, as we showed earlier, hate crimes, reductions in women's reproductive rights, poor mental health revealed by the COVID pandemic, and the list just goes on and on and on. What do you think that we can do collectively, not only as exceptional women of color, but just collectively, what can we do to try to tackle some of these issues, especially for those who are on a higher platform that have a voice?
I think the most important thing to do is to pay attention to politics. There's so many things that the government funds to distract us for a reason. So sometimes you need to put down a TikTok, sometimes you need to put down the Instagram, and it could be the difference between saving your life, saving your brother's life, saving your dad's life. Like, it literally goes down to that. A lot of people don't even understand how these things work, how the laws work, and how change works. So you have to show up, and it's important to know what's going on in the city, especially that you live in, in order to have change and to make sure that these things are going to be addressed, because it is a problem. Like, so people can post about it all day, and they do post about it all day, and it is good to talk about it, but if there's no action behind what you're saying, it's not going to make a difference. We're going to be back here talking again next week and next week and next week. And it's so sad, because it's literally to the point where, you know, when police brutality and things like this were happening, it was a big deal. And now it just happens so much to the point that I think a lot of us are exhausted, that it just turns into people like giving up and losing faith and hope in it, because it's too much. But we have to pay attention to what's going on and get involved and not let those things distract.
Do you think social media is more helpful or harmful when it comes to these types of issues that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
I think it's helpful to make people aware of what's going on, but once we're made aware, you know, people are made aware and then they're not doing anything else after that on social media. They're just, you know, maybe 1 or 2 people might comment on it, then they're back to TikTok trends or making reels or things like that. They're not actually doing anything on social media after they're aware of it. So it's like it's good to make people aware, but once you're aware, you have to take those proper steps to execute it.
Absolutely. And so let's talk, I want to backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to Howard University. We have any Howard University attendees or grads in the building? Yeah, a few of y'all, about 6 of y'all. Okay, so let's go back to Howard University. So when you attended, did you major in any type of broadcasting? What were your plans when you exactly when you left for Howard?
Oh my God, so I left it. My timing was so poorly because at the time I was attending Howard, I was really into like TRL and 106 in Park. Okay. And like Tigger's Baby. Y'all know what that is?
You guys remember 106 in Park?
Okay.
Half the room does.
Right. So it was an interesting time because, you know, VJs were needed. They would call them, you know, video DJs. They would come introduce videos and stuff like that. And I feel like as soon as I graduated, like the whole digital world emerged. You don't have to sit there and watch, you know, TRL 106 in Park for 50 seconds of your video. You can watch it on YouTube whenever you want. And then I started seeing big companies like Viacom, who owns everything from MTV, BT, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central. They would come through and fire 20% of the people across the board. Revolt would fire like 30 people every couple weeks. I'm like, you know, there's been 30 people here. We're starting, but like, they would fire people because the digital world took over. So we no longer need these departments anymore. So it was like kind of sad. So I'm like, well, what am I gonna do now? Literally what I went to school to do doesn't exist anymore. So I kind of just like went into the next thing. I did do hard news in DC for a while, but I personally hated it, but I did try it out. But yeah, that's what I went to school for, broadcast journalism and communications.
Amazing, and here you are with your own firm.
Yes.
So last question, for anyone who may be in this room or anyone watching, what is a sound piece of advice that you can give to anyone who feels like they know what it is that they were created to do, they know what they want, but they don't have the confidence, or maybe their current circumstances prohibit them from being able to go after their dreams? What is a piece of advice that you would tell that person?
I would say if you're scared, then do it scared. Because so many people let fear get in the way, and a lot of that is people talking in your ear. A lot of that is you personally trying to do things, and especially as, you know, Black women and women of color, we always get things thrown at us whenever we're trying to do things. We like accomplish one thing and then it's like, boom, now we're back to ground zero. And that can be exhausting. And for a lot of people, it's like, okay, let me just go back to what I'm used to, what's comforting for me. But I promise you, if what you want to do, what you're passionate about is in your mind and you cannot stop thinking about it, that's what you're meant to do. And that was the changing point in me. I actually went to church when I was working for Diddy. I couldn't stand the people there. And that's because I didn't grow up going to church, because I didn't grow up in a church household. So I started going on my own. And when I went, the pastor said something to me that changed my life. He said, when your imagination doesn't match your reality, you often find yourself depressed because you feel like you're missing out on the life that you were meant to live.
Wow.
And that's literally what it is. Like, you are meant to live that. It's not in your mind for a reason. You're meant to do it. And even though things will get hard, God will find a way for you.
I got chill bumps. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. That is so amazing. You guys, please give it up one more time for our beautiful and so amazing, talented guest speaker. Ayers, Miss KiKi Ayers, in this suit. I need this. I love that color.
It has just been a very very beautiful evening. Again, I want to give it up to God Almighty for making this day possible, bringing us all together. There is no community like Sacramento and beyond that supports EWOC like you all have done for the last 14 years. Give yourselves a round of applause, because I know some people who have been here and they have come to every EWOC since we started in 2008. And if this is your first time here, raise your hand. Oh, wow, we do have a lot of newbies. Okay, that's great, that's great. Okay, so again, I want to just give another shout out to all of our EWOC honorees that came forward today. They gave all those, I can't remember all the remarks. I'm not going to even try to rehash. We got it all on video. We're going to edit it. We're going to get it up on YouTube. But they were phenomenal, and they are just doing some amazing things. This particular event is like my favorite event that we do, because we love to honor people for the work that they do. Especially, the one word that I heard over and over tonight is the unseen, right? So many of us, we go unseen for the work that we do. But you are being seen. We see you, okay? I love that. We see you, okay? You were seen tonight. People will talk about you. We have written about you. People are going to know you and for what the things that you do. All right, and we were just really proud to be able to recognize that. For the folks who submitted you, they submitted you for a reason. And so we're really, really glad that you were able to be here to receive your award and that you're still standing. I want to give my thank yous to so many different people who made tonight happen, namely our corporate sponsors, which we gave tribute to earlier. This event would not be made possible without our sponsors. And then also to the people who come together for the planning of the event. Okay, so as people talked about, when you're climbing that ladder we're all trying to climb that ladder of success, we're all trying to make it as entrepreneurs, we're all trying to make it in our careers, you can't do this job alone. Okay, you cannot do this job alone. It comes with a team, and I have a phenomenal team. I have a phenomenal team. Please give them a round of applause. I actually want to shout them all out, because I just love the way they love Sac Cultural Hub and everything that it stands for. Their passion is just as deep as my passion is for this company, because I don't want to use the word love, hate, but it is. We get in arguments, we've fallen out. But when you can truly come back together and you know who your friends are, then you know what your true purpose is in life and the work that you do and the people that support you. So the first person that I want to shout out, I don't think she's here tonight, she's a big part of our team, is Vicki Blakely. Yes, Vicki Blakely. And a lot of folks used to say, so what do I need to sign up with Sac Hub? Do I need to be a woman? Because it seems like it's a woman's thing. Michael Blair is a part of our team. He's been with us for many, many years, I believe almost 12 years. Michael P. Coleman, he writes for Sac Cultural Hub. He's not here this evening. He has come to many EWOCs in the past. And Miss Twyla Laster, Strategic Marketing Director. We love her to death, and she's been with us for over 15 years as a partner, as a team member. And we have back with us, I hope she hasn't left yet, Miss Leslie Leatherwood, whom I stole from Sacramento Observer to come work for Sac Cultural Hub. She has been a die-hard member for Sac Cultural Hub for over 15 years as well. Donna Ramos has been with us for many, many years. lifetime member, Valerie Scruggs. Love Valerie Scruggs. She's such a smarty. I love Valerie. She's been with us for many, many years. And then a shout out to our board of directors, Stacy Anderson, Sheila Bennett, Sheila Moody Bennett, Holly Brown, William Jamal Miller, Gary Simon, Zaretha Thompson, all of our volunteers, namely Kimberly Bailey, Michelle Mitchell, Candace Wilder, who are here tonight. They're diehard fans for Sac Cultural Hub. And then I really want to give a shout out to all of our photographers who are always with us for all of our events. Robert Briley, Kyrie Malik, Tia Jamel is here this evening. She always supports us. Rayford Johnson came out from Texas. He's our videographer. Our outstanding DJ Gino, who is always there for us. All of our vendors who come and support us at our events every year, thank you for coming out. Please don't forget to patronize. We still have a lot of time left on this event, so I want you to patronize our vendors. We actually have EWOC t-shirts that are on sale at the Sac Cultural Hub booth. So make sure you go over, get you a Sac Hub t-shirt, an EWOC t-shirt, and also EWOC mugs. All right? And then get your photo ops. Lots of photo ops you can take in groups and all around the different things that we have around the room. And I want to give a shout out to the DoubleTree Hotel for letting us have our way. Okay? Oh, did I left? Okay, I think I remember. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I got everybody, man, because I hate. Did I forget anyone, Twyla? I haven't forgotten anyone? Well, I think I did. I forgot all the attendees. Who? Oh, Michelle's brother. Oh, and of course, okay, because Twyla shouted it out. And let me tell you, from the very beginning, I really have to shout my mom out. Is she still here? She is. Okay, she hasn't ducked out. Miss Cherry, I love her so much. She's with me every step of the way. She was there for the very first EWOC in 2008. And my daughter Star is here, one of 3 daughters. I know a lot of you remember my daughters grew up with Sac Cultural Hub. They may have gotten you to subscribe to the Hub magazine at one of the expos. So I have Shania, and I also have Stephanie. So I want to give a shout out to my daughters, because if it's not for my daughters, my family, everyone knows I'm a family person. This is the push of why I do what I do. I am a family, community-oriented person. You know, I say that this business is, I'm like I live for the community. Public information community officer. I've always said, you know, and I tell people all the time, so if you friends with the governor, tell the governor I need to be on the payroll, okay? The public information officer for Sac Cultural Hub. Right, Twyla? Okay, so that brings us to a close, everyone. I love you all so much. Every single person sitting in this room, you purchased a ticket. You came out tonight to give us your time to recognize these wonderful honorees, 16 honorees this evening, and we thank you for that. You could have chose anywhere else to be, but you chose here to be here on this Tuesday evening for the 14th annual EWOC Awards and Expo. Thank you again, everyone. Have a great evening. Take pictures, network. We have until 9 o'clock before they kick us out.
I got the mic on. Anybody want to say anything?
Yes! Going down here at the Exceptional
Exceptional Women's EWOC, of course, you know, Plachette never plays any games. Top of the top tier, always luxury. This is what we do.
And I'm so glad to have Tav and Trent.
Yes.
Can
I tell you, 2008, she been killing Sacramento and giving people their roses. Amazing.
Always.
So sweet.
I love them.
Yes. She always puts everyone at the top of the tier of everything.
Top tier.
And we
I
love
love it.
and we love Plachette. Thank you for all you do in the community, for us, for me. I love her. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, this was a fantastic event, like always. Kudos to Plachette.
It's an amazing event. Congratulations to Sacramento Cultural Club. We appreciate all that you do for the community. Congrats to everyone. Keep it up, keep it out. Beautiful. Congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations to you, Plachette, and the whole team. You guys done a beautiful job. And all the EWOC recipients. Good job.
I love this whole event. Every time they have it, everybody in the world needs to come.
We're not saying anything. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations to all the recipients and just a fabulous, fabulous event.
Always a fabulous time. Yeah. 2022.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so grateful, thankful, just blessed, very blessed to be recognized for just being me.
For all the honorees, she did a marvelous job. Keynote.
Thank you for being